Art and Architecture. I'm also the video producer at Home Bana. So today we are at Floor Show and we are going to explore all the wooden flooring options for your houses. And let's get into the video with the discussion about why you need to use wooden flooring, what types you can choose, what patterns are available, and even for outdoor wooden flooring we have amazing options. So here we have Ali who will be guiding us.
Hi everyone.
And let's get started, Ali.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Yeah. So Ali, first thing, why should we use wooden flooring at all?
Wooden flooring right now is the most trending flooring in terms of, for home interiors. You get a lot of patterns with it, a lot of color options. Wood is always a warm product, so you can bring in that kind of, warmness inside your residence or, even a commercial interior as well.
Right.
It's always something that, enhances the look of, your overall interior, setting that you have. So in that sense, the options in wood are huge. You have different kinds of designs, colors, patterns, textures, styles, and all of that contribute to you picking that perfect flow that goes really well with your entire setting and really brings out certain key elements inside the room that you want to highlight, and also gives you a very warm look and makes it a nice cozy setting for your space. So that's why it's a product that's easily available. It's economical. It's being used widely all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Goes with a lot of your standard interior. Something which you try out different wood floors are something which enhance the look of your interiors, that whatever you want to go in for.
Right. So what do you think? Is wooden flooring a better option as compared to marble and other flooring, vitrified tiles?
See, marble, vitrified tiles, I wouldn't say this is better than that, but
Okay.
yes, it is different. It all depends on how you use it. I wouldn't call one better than the other. It depends on what kind of interiors you're looking in for. And also, the functional aspect of it. Like a marble and a ceramic and vitrified tile, they're all cold floors.
Right.
Wood is always warm.
Correct.
So when it's hot outside, your wood is cold inside, and when it's cold outside, your wood is warm inside. So when you get off bed or when you're walking around your home without any footwear on, there's always something you'll always have that warm feeling while walking around in the wood floor.
Correct.
And marble and vitrified tile along with wood flooring, are nice options to always blend and use in your entire space.
Oh, so you would suggest that get in all the elements to make a good design?
Yeah, you can. I wouldn't always suggest one option. I would always suggest blend it. You're the better judge for that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so let's move into what types of wooden floorings we have available.
So the first type is called laminate wood floors. It's basically a photographic applique of wood. Simple terms, it's a picture of wood printed on paper and stuck on a HDF board. So HDF is basically high density fiber board. So this is something that looks like wood but is not exactly wood. One of the biggest advantages of this is it's modular.
Uh-huh.
So suppose you want to change your flooring, say after about 7-8 years, you can just remove this as it is, lay it in another room and change your flooring for that specific area which you guys want to change the interiors for.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's the wear and tear like? How long will it last once we've installed?
typically a laminate floor gets a warranty of about 12 to 15 years. And that's the warranty that we extend.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying that it will only last 15 years. It will definitely outlast it. It all depends on how you maintain it, and we provide our clients with like a maintenance manual to show you the do's and don'ts. If you spill something, what to do, what not to do. Small things that basically contribute to the performance of not only your laminate but any kind of flooring that you put in terms of a wood floor. So in laminate, you basically have something called an abrasion class. That's an AC class. For flooring, it's basically the amount of footfall it can take. So you have AC3, AC4, AC5, and you also have AC6. AC3 is from light residential. It's mainly for residential use. That means that it's a flooring that is apt for a residential interior.
Okay.
Then you have AC4, which is for heavy commercial use, and AC5, which is like for extremely high traffic areas like common areas in malls or a retail store or cafeteria areas in like multinational companies.
Right.
So there are different abrasion classes which which you can choose from. We start at AC3 and go up to AC5, but an AC3 and AC4 for a residential use is not a problem at all. It's a good option for residential. You don't need to go AC5, AC6 and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what will be a price range for something like this for AC3, AC4?
So we retail starts at about 105 up to about 290 depending on per square foot.
Per square.
Depending on the type of color, the type of design, or the type of texture. So there are a lot of factors that contribute to the price of a laminate. It's just not the abrasion class. Yeah, that's basically it with the laminate flooring.
Okay.
And
So we have a few more options also in laminate flooring, right? So these, I understand that you don't have a texture feel.
you do. I mean, a few have texture. This is basically a cross grain pattern. And this is inspired from, say, a kind of wood flow that these guys have tried to replicate.
Okay.
You have different types of textures. You have a matte finish, you have a gloss, you have a wire brushed finish. So see, the whole idea of a laminate floor is to come closer to real wood as much as possible.
Right.
So in terms of, say, innovation of the product itself, I think laminate flooring is about 18 to 20 years probably in the Indian market. And innovation in terms of the technical product there is not much, but in terms of design and coming closer to the real wood look and feel has gone a huge length. And that's what factories all around the world are improvising upon. So there's certain laminate floors that even if you put on the floor, they look exactly like a hardwood.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll show you a lot of that. You have different color options, different textures, different size options, different thicknesses. So typically laminate floors start at about 8 mm and go up to 12 mm.
Okay.
And the prerequisite for a laminate floor is you need a flat, smooth surface where you install this on.
Okay.
Has to be free of any kind of undulations, any kind of moisture. Has to be free of those things. And what goes underneath is just a simple foam.
Okay.
So better sound insulation and a PVC sheet.
Okay.
To help serve as a moisture bank.
So what about some people suggest that we have a thin layer of ply also along with laminate flooring?
See, ply basically, so ply comes in where your floor is undulated.
Okay.
That is when ply helps install this kind of flooring, but for a laminate it's not necessary.
Okay.
Because the installation is a modular, it's a tongue and groove kind of installation. So you don't need ply for a laminate. If you have a heavily undulated floor, my first suggestion would be first to level that floor rather than put ply.
Okay.
And just do the laminate directly on top of that.
Okay, perfect.
So you don't need any kind of plywood, there's no sticking involved, there is no gluing down. Suppose you have, say, marble as your subfloor and you guys don't want to damage the marble. You can always install this.
Okay.
Use it however long you want or however long you enjoy it for. And when you're bored of it, just remove it and use the marble. There are about 650 options to choose from. And we basically don't categorize the laminate in terms of texture, in terms of design as such.
Okay.
Mainly because we would like the customer to see everything that we have. And what we always believe is that a second look at something, you tend to like it more. So that's why we just mix up everything intentionally, so that like if you see this and this, I mean it's nowhere close. This is a distressed finish and this is your 3-ply plank finish. So but we always like to keep these kind of floorings together and mix it up so that if it's there in your subconscious mind and if you really like it, then a second look at it, you'll just point your finger and say that I like this, take it out as an option.
So, in our laminate flooring options, can we combine multiple colors or panels or textures?
Yeah, you can. We've done a lot of sites like that where we
Okay.
used two different colors of wood and installed it as the same in one common area. But the only limitation in that is that it has to be of the same size, like width, the same locking system.
Okay.
Then you can do it.
Okay.
If it's not the same lock, because every factory which manufactures laminate wood flooring has their own locking system,
Okay.
and there are minor differences between each of them. So suppose you would ask me to combine these two,
Right.
it would be very difficult because this locking system is slightly different than this. So if it's the same range from the factory, or the same size, same width, same thickness, and also the same locking system, then it's possible. So these are basically chevron.
Okay.
Chevron is also known as fishbone because if you see the pattern, it kind of looks like the bone structure of a fish, and these joints basically meet at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
So you have these kind of patterns also available in laminate, and you have different color options as well.
Okay.
These are just actually picking up in vogue right now in the interiors and stuff like that. A lot of people are looking for these patterns, because of Pinterest and social media, because they're becoming famous now.
Correct.
Although they had come out about 4-5 years back, now it's picking up slowly in India.
Yeah, they also look very rich and give a very elegant look to the space. In fact, a lot of projects I have seen these patterns being used on door panels and.
Definitely. So that's another thing with laminate. It has a lot of multiple uses besides flooring.
Okay.
You can use it as wall cladding. You can use it as ceiling cladding. You can use it on doors. You can use it on your table furniture. You can use it. There are multiple uses. You can create boxes with it, planters with it. Lateral uses is what we call them, where they're not used for flooring, but other things like, as I mentioned, tabletops. Some people even use it as planters. Some people use it as waste paper bins as well, like in showrooms and stuff. Like they create this kind of
Nice. So we have wooden flooring becoming a more flexible material.
It's very flexible, very flexible. So this is again another chevron.
So this is again in our distressed kind of.
Distressed, yeah. And then you have, your oaks, light oak, your dark oak. You have a greyish one which works really well. Grey charcoals are very much in vogue right now. A lot of people like them to be used as flooring and stuff. So we have a lot of options available in those color palettes. So this is a typical herringbone floor. Now, and these are the options that are available in laminate. You have a number of colors ranging from oaks to walnuts to teaks to distressed kind of finishes as well. And what you see different from a chevron is that this meets at a 90-degree angle. So a lot of people confuse a chevron flooring with the herringbone.
Right.
Yeah, so this is a 90-degree and that is a 45-degree. That's the only difference between the two. And you have multiple, colors, shades, different types of finishes, different textured ones as well.
So, Ali, what are the patterns that are typically used in India for
Typically,
wooden flooring?
there are 3 types.
Okay.
One is your overlay, which is your normal brick pattern.
Okay.
The second is your chevron, and the third is herringbone, and that's it. You do have more patterns, like you have something called a basket weave, you have tiled floors, tiled formats and stuff like that, but it's really not a product that has still matured into the Indian market as yet.
So, this is herringbone with laminate, is it?
Yeah, this is a laminate flooring in a herringbone pattern.
So, we can have herringbone pattern in even the other like engineered boards.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see, you'll be taking us through the next category.
Engineered wood, yeah.
Okay.
These are the entire range of engineered woods that we have. So the thing about engineered woods is, in terms of technical functionality, it's a wonderful product.
Okay,
If you're
why
looking
so?
at See, because it combines the advantages of a laminate
Mhm.
and a hardwood. So,
Oh.
engineered typically means that you get the real wood, the
Mhm.
actual wood, and your bottom layer is basically plywood or HDF or any other cheaper wood, like for example spruce or cypress or such kind of species. And once you install it, it's exactly like a solid wood, but it behaves much better than a solid wood.
Okay.
So once you get into natural wood as a flooring option,
Mhm.
you have to consider the factor of it still being, a living floor. There are still cells inside that are actually living, and that is the reason why wood expands and contracts,
Okay.
which is used to be a huge issue earlier because everyone would want their floor to be absolutely straight and level, and people would not maintain it well or use excess water while cleaning it. So obviously a wood floor expands and contracts.
Mhm.
When it is winter, when it's dry and when it's less moist outside, the wood floors contract.
Okay.
And when it is say the rainy season, they
Mhm.
absorb more moisture, and that's why they expand.
Right.
So for that reason, what we do is even in a laminate as well, that happens in laminate floors.
Mhm.
We all around the periphery of your room, once we do the installation of the flooring itself,
Mhm.
we leave a 12 gap, which
Okay.
basically takes care of that expansion and contraction.
That's an interesting detail.
Yeah.
So, with respect to engineered wood, would you suggest that they are superior to the laminate ones?
I wouldn't say superior, but yeah, it's real wood. I mean, it depends. See, so
Okay.
once if you're comparing the three, solid, engineered, and laminate is the most economical. So if you don't have that high budgets to put in, engineered and hardwood, then laminate is a fantastic option.
Okay.
If you are trying to decide between a solid and engineered, I would any day suggest an engineered
Okay.
because solid is difficult to maintain.
Uh-huh.
It is raw wood. So imagine 15 mm of the actual species of wood. So your expansion and contraction rates are much higher.
Oh, okay.
So your installation costs are much higher. Your
Okay.
maintenance costs are much higher. Like suppose if I scratch or say you're dragging a piece of furniture and
Mhm.
say a piece or a plank of the wood gets scratched, very difficult for someone to replace that scratch because you have to remove the entire row of flooring
Oh.
right up to the plank because solid wood is not modular.
Uh-huh.
Solid wood is installed on plywood or it's stuck down using glue. So
Okay.
it's a fixed floor. We call that a fixed floor.
Mhm.
Engineered on the other hand is floating. I mean it's the same thing as a laminate. I told you it combines the advantages of both. So I wouldn't compare engineered to a laminate nor
Okay.
a solid wood to a laminate because
Okay.
the price difference is vast.
Okay.
The price becomes a defining factor.
Uh-huh.
But if you're comparing engineered to hardwood, engineered any day because it's technically a much more sounder product. Every year there are new technological advancements coming in terms of engineered wood, the top layer coatings, how to make it more scratch resistant, how to make it more user friendly, how to prevent expansion and contraction to a large extent. So typically, just to give you an example, if I would put a solid wood floor and right beside that if I would put an engineered wood floor and
Okay.
say suppose there's water seepage in your house
Uh-huh.
or someone water seepage or someone leaves the window open and rainwater enters.
Uh-huh.
Wood wood floors basically are cross-cut
Okay.
from planks.
Okay.
That kind of wood is used to make engineered and hardwood. So
Uh-huh.
the expansion only happens widthwise.
Oh.
Expansions don't happen lengthwise.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine a solid 25 solid wood expanding throughout. So engineered, is more resistant to those kind of that kind of a behavior.
Okay. So, with respect to laminate, I understand we didn't have to polish the surface.
Yeah.
But what about the engineered one? Do we have to have any polishing?
No. So all the floorings that we do are factory finished.
Okay.
They're ready to install. There's no on-site work that takes place.
Okay.
There is no kind of polishing, sanding. There's nothing like that. You just
Okay.
take the flooring, install it, and that's it. You're done.
Okay.
And all of these come with coatings. Like you have UV treatment, you have polyurethane coating, you have oil finishes in engineered. So UV is the best, obviously, because it's more scratch resistant. Then you have polyurethane, you have all natural oil finishes, which are very rustic. I'll show you those as well.
Okay.
And another very important information for an engineered wood is engineered wood is basically layered wood.
Okay.
The plank is layered. So what that means is you have your top layer of your original species. Like if you like a walnut, you have a top layer of walnut or a teak or whatever wood you want. Underneath, you have 6 or 8 layers of ply.
Okay.
Or any other species of wood. So there's engineered wood are differentiated into 2 types. One is 3 ply, and the other one is multiply. So I'm talking about multiply right now. So you have your top layer on top. Then comes the second layer, which is a layer of plywood or any other cheaper wood. So the interesting thing is the grains run vertically.
Okay.
Okay, this way. Your bottom layer, to control the expansion and contraction, runs in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's a cumulative effect. So it's alternate. So this direction comes here, this direction comes here. So that basically holds the entire plank together from expanding exponentially. So that is how this product is, I prefer it or rather refer it more than a hardwood.
Okay. And what about its costing? Since you mentioned that becomes a derivative factor.
Yeah.
So what about the costing of engineered wood?
It starts at about 375 per square foot. It can go up to 1900 per square foot.
Okay.
Depends on what you like. So in engineered wood, you have your basic range, then you have a little, premium range, and then you have like the designer series, which is some crazy tile patterns and inlay flooring and stuff like that. So all that is in engineered wood.
So does the costing also comes because the top layer is a hardwood which is not a constant?
Exactly. That's right. What you're saying is right. So the top layer, the thickness of the top layer also determines the cost.
Okay.
So engineered wood, typically you have top layer starting from 0.6 mm, which is called linear engineered wood.
Okay.
And goes up to even 6 mm of top layer. But why do you actually need a top layer, or why do people prefer hardwood? Still a lot of people prefer hardwood rather than a laminate or an engineered. The main reason is because you can resand it and repolish it multiple times. Now, suppose say after 10-12 years your flooring gets spoiled. Obviously it's wood, it is going to lose a little bit of luster and shine. There will be scratches that appear on the floor. You can always resand your entire flooring, re-polish it, re-oil it, re-coat it, and make it look brand new. Every time you sand and re-polish, I think about 0.8 mm or 0.6 mm is what is removed. So that time you get a raw wood. You don't actually get this color. It's more of a raw, like raw teak versus oil teak. As simple as that. You get a raw wood. So if you want to add a stain, or if you want to, add some different kind of color or experiment, that's possible.
Okay.
But I wouldn't suggest it.
Why wouldn't you suggest
I mean, there's always the factor of something going wrong. Because see, these are all factory finished. All engineered woods, unless it's a oiled wood. So we also have engineered woods that are oiled. There's no coating; it's just an oiled flooring.
Okay.
That gives a very rustic, very distressed kind of look. Very antique wash is what we call it. So I wouldn't really suggest changing a color and stuff, because the wood is made for that color. You rather use it for that color.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so even in this we have different patterns available.
You have different patterns, you have different textures. So nowadays what's in fashion is long planks and wide planks. Wide and long is what it really looks nice, because you have a huge grain pattern and that's seen. Patterns, we have chevron, we have herringbone, then we have tiled patterns, we have organic patterns, which I will show you as well. There's the new stuff that's coming, and you have the normal overlay kind of pattern. This is basically herringbone in engineered wood. You have this type of pattern. Again, it's a 90-degree, same as a laminate, and these are all modular. When I say modular, it's the same installation method as a laminate.
So
It's
the
just a
same
click and that's
layer. I mean, again, it's the same layer of.
same. You don't need any plywood. You don't need anything underneath.
Okay, that's awesome.
Just click it and leave it, and whenever you want to, shift this or change the flooring, that's possible.
Okay, so again, what's the time period that we can have engineered wood flooring for?
So 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, depends on. So whenever a
What's the
customer,
longest?
so whenever a customer asks me that question, I ask them back the question, how long do you want to use it?
Okay.
Because actually it's a very, the question itself, you have so much happening in interiors now,
Mm-hmm.
and the trends are changing so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, or you have to keep up with that trend.
Correct.
Sometimes your kids grow up, they want to change the floor. So typically an engineered wood anywhere between 15 to 20 years is what it should last.
Uh-huh.
And it can be reused as well because of the
Okay.
top layer. It can be repolished, resanded and reused. So
Right.
just add another 10 years to that.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever a customer or a client asks me that question, I always tell them how long do you want it for. If you want it for 15 years, it'll last you 15 years. If you want it for 10, it'll last you 10.
That's interesting. So, say after 15 years they repolish or they sand it and repolish, what's the approximate maintenance cost they should have in hand?
See, we don't really get into that.
Okay.
There's another external agency who we recommend,
Uh-huh.
and they do the sanding, polishing because they're professionals in it. So that's a totally different industry from this. So we deal in pre-finished floors,
Okay.
and then the other guys who do finishing floors on site.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not an expert, though I know about it.
So, just to give
About
an
160, 170 bucks a square foot is what it works out.
Okay. So the costing that we've been looking so far is with installation or without
No,
installation?
this is just for the product.
Okay.
So installation again is extra.
So what's our typical installation cost?
Laminate, it's about 12 bucks a square foot.
Okay.
Engineered, it starts at 25 up to about 40, depending on the client format. So if it's a herringbone,
Uh-huh.
so in herringbone, there's a little more work involved because the number of joints,
Right.
obviously. And also there's a lot of cutting work.
Mm-hmm.
So with herringbone, it's a little bit more, about 35, 40 rupees a square foot.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, for your normal overlay planks, about 30, 25 to 30 is what usually we charge.
Right. Fair enough. So we have the herringbone, we have the overlay pattern,
Yeah.
and we also have a mosaic kind of a pattern.
Yeah, so this is basically called rectangular square.
Mhm.
And these are wide planks with almost about 8 feet in length.
Mhm.
So the thing in engineered is the wider you get, the thicker you get, the more it starts behaving like solid wood. In
Oh.
terms of installation, not in
Okay.
terms of performance. So
Mhm.
once you start getting into thick and wide, you have to install it on ply.
Okay. So this particular
Yeah, This-
pattern.
yeah. Not this is modular, but anything which is thick or
Uh-huh.
has a top layer of say 8 mm or 7 mm or 6 mm, we always recommend using ply because it becomes a much more stable, installation. So ply, we use how we install plies on your subfloor, which can be your masonry floor.
Mm-hmm.
You put in 9 or 12 mm of ply.
Mm-hmm.
We basically screw that into your subfloor.
Mm-hmm.
And we also cut the ply in half and leave gaps in between the ply as well because ply does expand. A lot of people don't do that; they just finish it end to end.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to leave an 8 to 10 mm gap so that doesn't expand and there's space for the ply to expand. And then we install these thick solid woods and the thick engineered woods,
Mm-hmm.
basically so that it's a much more sturdy installation, so that it prevents it from over expanding and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a much more solid feel.
So what do you think with respect to these patterns also, like you mentioned if there are longer grains, they wouldn't look good in a smaller space. So again, if there are patterns of these sorts, what kind of spaces will it suit better?
So these, you see, the plank format is pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no like hard and fast thumb rule that will suit this space and not this space. But you can use this anywhere, even a small room, a large room. We've done steps with this, like threads with this kind of flooring.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use this anywhere. And another thing is you can combine. So
Okay.
suppose you're using this in say your common areas, you can use say a straight plank or an overlay teak engineered wood in your bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
so that it looks like a nice transition as well. You can also do that.
So we can break monotony
Exactly.
also with wooden flooring,
Yeah.
and that's a flexible quality.
So this is basically the new range of hardwood,
Okay.
and it's the first range of hardwood that is actually modular. You don't need ply to install this. We just have about 4 colors in this as of now,
Okay.
and you can install this in any pattern you want. You can install this in a straight plank.
Uh-huh.
You can install it in herringbone. You
Okay.
can install it in a basket weave as well.
Oh, interesting.
So this is like a hardwood that's really, flexible in terms of installation, and you can combine both. You can do a basket weave and a long plank
Oh.
or an overlay. So
What about merging these with other materials like marble
you can, you can.
inlay, or I don't know.
There are a lot of sites where we've done, we supply the wood and somebody else comes and does the inlay.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays you get ready-made engineered woods with marble inlay, metal inlays.
That's
Although that's not, that trendy over here,
Mm-hmm.
it should pick up in the next couple of, years. It should become something that people ask for
Mm-hmm.
and research about.
So, with respect to our solid wood, do we have limited options to choose from?
So I'll tell you what happened. So the traditional hardwood floors were the only wood floors known to us,
Uh-huh.
and they were being used to a huge extent. Any wood floor requirement was a hardwood floor.
Correct.
Then what happened is then came in your laminate flooring, which
Mhm.
basically disrupted the market.
Mm-hmm.
Then an even better product came, which is engineered, which again disrupted the market again. So your traditional hard floors are actually going out of fashion and use. We had about 130 species in hardwood that we used to sell just near about 4-5 years back,
Okay.
and now we hardly have about 25-30. So it's something. The reason why it's going, or rather, not being used as
Mhm.
much as it was, is because you have better options.
Yeah.
You have, see, right now, one thing about any interior product is you can buy the most expensive flooring, the best grade, but if you do not maintain it well,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no point of putting a flooring at all, or there's no point of
True.
you spending so much money and stuff. So service is a really, really important factor in a wood floor,
Mm-hmm.
and ease of maintenance is what everybody requires right now. Like, I need it to be easy to install. The customer needs it to be easy to maintain.
True. True.
Hardwood floors are a little difficult because they
Okay.
tend to scratch easy.
Mhm.
They tend to expand exponentially if little bit of moisture enters or anything like that. I'm not saying it's bad flooring.
Mm-hmm.
I love the flooring,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of technical specifications, you have engineered, which is a much better option.
What about the wear and tear? Like for laminate, we mentioned that we cannot repolish them.
Yeah.
For engineered, we mentioned that we
You
can.
can repolish them probably once
Mhm.
in engineered. If it's a 3mm, probably once. Solid wood, you can repolish say about 3 times, 4 times. I mean, depending. But nobody actually does that.
Yeah, but then they would have been bored of the floor.
No one comes back and says, you supplied me flooring 12-15 years back, please send someone to repolish it. I've never had a customer like that.
Okay.
Even though we've been selling floors for about 27 years.
And now, because we've mentioned that trends change really fast and products also change really fast. So, say your wooden flooring is fairly in a good condition. Do you think we can reuse it for something else?
Yeah, you can, definitely.
Okay, so what are the we can put it on a tabletop or
No, you can shift it to another room. You can use it as a cladding. You can,
Okay.
You can use it somewhere. I mean, not here. Maybe at say your office, you want to create a nice space, a nice sitting area. Shift the flooring there. So there, uses like that which you can always put it. And if you don't have anything to do, just change your flooring.
Mhm. With the same regard, say now the culture is apartment culture.
Yeah.
People don't have a permanent house. Like there are people who move frequently, so they still want a wooden flooring.
So most of the builders,
Uh-huh.
if you're talking about the mid-budget,
Uh-huh.
slightly lower as well, and slightly higher than the mid-budget, all the builders use laminate flooring
Okay.
in all their projects.
So, say it's our own apartment or a house. We are shifting from a different space, like we are shifting two homes. I have a fairly good wooden flooring in my existing house, and I
You can
want
take
to.
it along and go.
Okay.
This is how you basically install any modular flooring and interlocking system. You have the lock over here, which basically comes inside and locks itself into the groove, and that's it. Your flooring is done. This is called a modular locking system, and each plank basically interlocks into another, and that's it. That's the only thing that you have to do. We only stick to the natural products. We don't do any kind of synthetic material when it comes to outdoors, because we've experienced that it does not work.
Okay.
So the only outdoor wood
Mhm.
that is actually tried, tested, and used extensively throughout the world is a species called Brazilian ipe, which
Okay.
basically is sourced from South America, that belt.
Mhm.
And it's a wood that is meant for whatever the exterior climate can throw at it,
Mhm.
whether it's water, whether it's sun, whether it's so hard termites don't attack it.
Oh.
Yeah, there's in hardwood there is something called a Junker hardness chart
Mhm.
that basically measures the hardness of the wood.
Mhm.
I think this is probably about the top 5 or the top 7.
Oh.
And in a hardwood, density of the wood matters a lot. You
Okay.
have hardwoods and you have softwood.
Mhm.
So this is an actual hardwood where your density is really, really, really high and really tight.
So all these products that we are seeing now is hardwood, and none of this is engineered or
No,
laminated.
so except that WPC, I mean, we keep that product to show a customer that we don't really sell it, but it's not something we would recommend also, because
Okay.
when you start getting into exteriors, you need a product that can look good again.
Mhm.
It's as simple as that. I mean, you're painting your house or you're painting your building. You can paint it again and make it look good.
Mhm.
We do not want to, give you or even suggest a product that after 7-8 years looks horrible and you have to throw it and then reinvest something. So if you choose a Brazilian ipe, this is the ipe floor. You have it in different formats,
Okay.
right? So you can repolish this number of times,
Oh.
and it lasts as long as you're building it.
So with this, don't we have that contraction, expansion?
You do. So we leave gaps like how we left over there, over
Uh-huh.
here.
Uh-huh.
So that takes care of the expansion and contraction.
Okay.
And another thing what we've discovered is if you go narrow
Uh-huh.
with your plank format, usually this is sold as a 145 mm width profile.
Okay.
What we've done is we sell only 75 mm and 90 mm. So your
Okay.
expansion rate is much lesser.
Uh-huh.
So in hardwood, the wider you go, the more it expands, or the more the expansion and contraction will be seen. So if you stick with a narrow plank, looks beautiful once it's installed,
Mhm.
because you get multiple, grooves, and even a small space looks huge if
Correct.
you use a smaller width. And with this, we haven't, received a single complaint where the planks are cupping or the screws are coming out and stuff like that.
Mhm. And what about the base layer? So what like in our interiors we had a flat surface which was a requirement. What's the requirement here?
So with this, you need a flat surface as well, or
Okay.
not a flat, I would say a smooth surface,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a slope for drainage of water.
Okay.
Because water basically pours through or flows through the the gaps in the
Grooves,
wood, the
yeah.
grooves, and you need a good water outlet
Uh-huh.
for this, and a good decent slope so that there's no water stagnation. The other products that you see here are all cladding materials,
Mm-hmm.
mainly meant for exteriors.
Okay.
They're all thermo-treated. They're thermo-treated pine, thermo-treated ash are the two products that we sell.
Mm-hmm.
You do get a lot of pine wood decks, which we don't recommend because pine is actually a soft wood.
Okay.
It's good for cladding. I do sell pine wood deck, but I don't recommend it.
Okay.
Because it's soft. If you just run your finger through it or your nail through it, it's gonna scratch. Ipe is the best natural wood product that we've seen for exteriors.
Okay.
If it's cladding as well, it's a little on the pricey side, but then it's an investment where your initial investment is high, but your long-term investment is really low because this lasts ages.
Okay. So what's the costing?
This starts at about 470 per square foot.
Okay.
Then you have the cost of your batons and your installation. Installation is about 60 rupees.
Okay.
Can go up to even $100
Based on the pattern.
based on the site, based on the pattern, based on which floor level you guys want it at. And the last cost is your oiling. So once we install these woods, any exterior wood, we basically just oil it. We don't coat it with anything. We just oil it because the wood absorbs the oil. The oil basically enhances the look of the wood and keeps it healthy for a long time. Then what happens is it fades because any natural wood fades. You just re-oil it again. That's it. That's the only maintenance you have to do.
So with respect to our exteriors also, what about their drainage and all that is not very much in our control, right?
So you don't need anything. So how you clean the exteriors is by rain. That's the way you clean the exterior.
Okay.
And so all of this is basically ventilated claddings is what we call them.
Okay.
So these are not directly installed on your wall.
Okay.
Same way we install this using the baton, we also install the cladding using the baton as well.
Okay.
So this first runs on your wall and then your cladding is basically installed on like this.
Right. Okay.
So all your water, everything, plus you have an air gap. Suppose this is your wall, you have an air gap. So a lot of insulation it provides. Like suppose it's cold outside, it keeps your indoors warm.
Right.
It's hot outside, keeps your indoors cool. So it provides those kind of additional functionalities as well.
That's a very good catch for outdoor spaces. Generally, people are not open to having wooden for their outdoor spaces because they think.
See, the only reason why
is the
they
problem.
do, yeah, exactly. You right on the dot. See, it is you have to do regular maintenance.
Okay.
Once every year, once every 2 years.
So what's the maintenance?
Just oiling, that's it.
Okay.
You get these water-based oils that you can use and basically see the wood needs to absorb the oil and then you get a color which is like this. If you compare these both.
Okay.
So you get this kind of color.
So which is after oiling, this one?
So this is unoiled, this is oil.
Okay. I think I like the unoiled one.
Yeah. No, even in this, you have different types of oil. You have oils with stains.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can stain this to a walnut, you can stain it to a teak, you can stain it to, you can leave it natural like this using a transparent coat. So it's entirely up to you
Nice.
how you want it. You can change the color every year.
Wow, okay.
That's entirely
So
up to you.
have a different theme. And what about painting over this?
You
Like
can
if, if they want a distressed feeling.
Yeah, you can paint. No problem. You can
Okay.
paint. So this wood you can do anything. It's a really, really dense and hard wood. It is not termite treated, but Indian termites are known to eat everything. They eat even plastic. Not a single site where they've even touched this Ipe because it's so hard. It's the last thing that they will eat. They'll eat everything in your house, and this is the last thing that they eat. So in terms of termite, it doesn't have any kind of treatment on it. There is no termite treatment. There is nothing in this nothing chemically added to this to enhance its performance. It's just raw wood.
So what's the price range again for this?
So this starts at about 175 per square foot. Installation is same as a laminate. You don't need to stick this. It's modular.
Okay. So I can just use this instead of the laminate wooden flooring, right? Everywhere because again it's
You
more
can.
resistant and.
Yeah, for sure you can, but you have limited options.
Oh, okay.
Number one. Number two, difference in price. Laminate, the price starts at about 105, 100 rupees. This retails at about 175.
Okay.
So we have done entire houses in it because you have these interesting, this is a rustic cement finish, this is a cement tile, and that is,
Marble kind.
stone beige kind of marble finish.
And what about the installation? Fairly simple.
Modular, same as a laminate tube.
Okay.
One plank interlocks into the other, and that's it, you're done.
Okay, and here do we have that contraction, expansion?
Very minimal.
Okay.
See, every material contracts and expands. Even plastic does, even stone does.
Okay.
But wood does a lot,
Uh-huh.
obviously, because it absorbs more moisture and it lets out moisture as well. These materials, even though they don't have any, element of wood in it, they do everything expands and contracts.
Okay.
So, to an extent where you can't really see it, but this does. So for this, what we do is we weave like a 4 mm gap instead of a 12 mm, and we cover that up with skirtings, or if you want to use an aluminium profile, you can use aluminium profiles. So that is possible with these. So on the periphery of your room,
Okay.
you have, we leave a gap between the wood and the wall. That's about 10 to 12 mm, as I told you.
Okay.
That takes care of any kind of exponential expansion and contraction. Now you need something to cover up that gap.
Correct.
So for that we use a skirting, which will be polished to the same color of your wood.
Okay.
So any shade, like you guys select, suppose you want a teak or a walnut or any shade, it will be polished to match that color.
So what's the material of this skirting?
So you have different types. You have MDF, which is a mid-density fiber,
Okay.
and on top you have a laminate
Okay.
post-forming yarn, which basically makes it look like this. Then you have something called as veneer polish, which is very simple. You have plywood veneer and polish it to whatever color you want. And then you have hardwood,
Okay.
which is a solid through and through homogeneous skirting which you get.
Okay, perfect.
Skirtings can vary in terms of sizes. It starts at about 15 mm in thickness and goes up to about 20-25. Height starts at 2.5 inch and goes up to 6 inch.
So this standard like you had mentioned?
2.5 is standard.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what we supply. If a customer wants a slightly higher skirting, up to 6 inches is what we can do.
Okay, and what if I say I don't want to use this skirting? Do I have an option of using probably marble or something else?
You can, yeah, definitely. You can.
But
See,
will that hinder with the space?
No. So as long as the wood gap is covered, it's fine.
Okay.
You can cover that wood gap even with another material as well, like how you said. You can put a tile there, you can put marble, whatever you want. As long as that gap is covered, it's fine.
Okay.
Otherwise, then you get to see that gap.
Correct.
These are different profiles that we use.
Okay.
And these are basically, these two are basically called transition profiles.
Okay.
So this is an R profile and this is a T profile.
Okay.
So reducer and this is a transition. This is mainly installed wherever one flooring meets another flooring or wherever there's level difference.
Okay.
Or entrance to, say an entrance door. Entrance to a room is where we use this profile because there is always either a level difference or a color difference between two materials.
Correct.
So wherever there's a level difference, we use an R profile. So your higher level goes here in this gap and your lower level starts here. If it's the same level, suppose you guys installed two different kinds of wood different colors, then you use a T profile, which is this, where both your levels inset here.
Okay.
And over here also you need a gap for it to expand.
Oh.
So this takes care, even where your doors are, there'll be a gap there, and that's why you use this profile to cover that gap and also make it look like a neat transition. And you have different types. This is an L profile, Stenos profile, which you use for staircases. Or this is a customized skirting with a step. Suppose you guys have existing marble or vitrified tile, you can just insert this and it gets covered and looks like an entire solid piece of wood.
Oh, nice. But yeah, this is taken care, right? The standard marble thickness.
Yeah, so that's also customizable. You can give me the size, 8, 12, 15, 20, whatever you want. And we can make this step according to that size and just insert it.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay. So guys, that's about our wooden flooring, and I hope you've got all the required information. In case you have any doubts, please do drop them in the comment section and we'll make sure that we clear them. Thank you so much for watching.